you had a visitor at the School of Learning. Can you tell us what on earth has been a big thing that happened this week?
I guess, of course, Zutor, who comes from another planet. He looks very different to us, and his job with a crew that he travels through the universe, and particularly around our planet, because we're doing some very, very ridiculous, not some intelligent actions on the planet. We're doing our best to blow it up and blow it away and contaminate it and destroy it. And the job that he has got is making sure that we don't do that. They're a much, much more intelligent race than Earth. So he's stabilizing our Earth and making sure that all of the mining that we're doing, destabilizing the core of the Earth, he comes behind and stabilizes it a little bit more. And he monitors what goes on and brings order to the security of the planet. That's his job. We're very familiar with him. We do a lot of work with him, but he's not come to visit our school before. He hasn't come into our building, but he has this time, and he has placed his face and his hands on the glass in the school. And you can see that clearly. That is very much actually his face. That is a real picture of his face as he shows himself to us.
And so this is the first time he's done something like this?
This is the first time, yes.
What was the purpose of him doing that?
I very recently received a hurt, a big hurt from somebody who I love and care a lot about and means a lot to me. And this hurt was done deliberately to gain power over me. And Zutor has told me that he came to stand beside me, was his words, and to show me that he was there and he was helping me deal with that hurt and rid myself of that hurt. And he very much put himself there so that I knew he's standing here right beside me, helping me.
What did that cause you to feel?
Shocked at the action of the person who hurt me, and a second shock in a different way by Zutor coming to do that. But he did say last night there was some return for the fact that I've dedicated my life to Spirit and to his work, and he's very much part of our council, and it was a thanks and a return for that. So I feel incredibly grateful, sad that that's the reason he came, or he felt a need to come. There's always the other aspect, there's always a karma for the person who takes those kind of actions. When it's somebody that you love and care about, it's also preparing yourself to stand back and watch the outcome of what they've done, which is not going to be good for them. I don't seek revenge for a hurt that's been put upon me, but it will be another hurt to watch what happens to that person. This is the very first time he's actually come into our building and imposed his energy into the building.
There's a lot of conjecture about what a travelling person, or some people call ETs, look like, and he's implanted his face precisely on the glass looking into where we're sitting, and it's stunning, it's amazing. It was put there overnight and discovered by our daughter actually the next evening. It's been a few days now, it's fading away in terms of the actual visual, but it is just stunning. And the question still stands as to why would he do it for us and why here, because he hasn't even put that imprint on the crop circles. We can only say it's because he sees the seriousness and the significance over time of the work that he's helping us to do.
One message that I would really want to take whoever watches this from is, the derogatory comments that are put out about ETs, and there's political reasons why that is done by our politicians, that, the ETs are coming to destroy us, they're coming to blow us up, and they're terrible entities and we should be very scared of them. It is completely the opposite. They are much, much, much more advanced in every single way than we are, than anyone on earth is, and they're here to help us to look at our stupidity. So for anyone who's watching this, please ponder, change your belief system if it's been a negative belief system. And a negative message is often heard more loudly than a positive message. And since I was a child, we hear negative messages about ETs. Religions have had an interest in perpetrating that message. Politicians have an interest in doing that. That's slightly changing. In the last couple of years, you would have seen that there is some information coming out, particularly out of America. You're having pilots reporting that they're seeing these craft and it's unexplainable. We're seeing that more and more and more and hearing this more and more and more. So we're at a stage now where I would be hoping that people would be not listening to the negative message, but questioning. This gentleman is here to help. And he told us last night, which is very interesting, how did he do it? How did he make this? And he said it's made from a substance that's not available on Earth and not known to Earth. And before I left here last night, I went looking for a cotton bud, and I thought I must take a sample of it and keep this for posterity, for anyone who's interested. And I was told by my own guide very quickly, don't bother, because they won't allow you to lift anything because they do not want the Earth to know what that substance is yet. That would be because we would want to exploit it for greed.
Zuto is not interested in giving us something we can monetize. That's not his job.
No, and it's not our purpose either.
No, this is probably the first example of there's such a thing as life beyond Earth, demonstrating their actual features in fine detail, including
Handprint.
And handprint, including just the depth of what's happened to them through their face and the particulars of it. It's quite astounding. The detail is actually astounding. For me, it's prophetic.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's hugely significant. It's a moment in history. All of this conjecture. Do they exist? Well, of course they do. It's a portent. It's a sign of something significant to come. And it had no hand by any of us. The building was locked and then unlocked next evening. And there it was.
So you've seen spaceships before, but
Lots.
He comes and shows himself in different ways, and particularly when we're at our other place in the country. Some of that's quite extreme, including photograph of this. One of his ships having landed. This is at another level. That's very close to how he'd shown himself anyway. There's a deep passion, a deep compassion, an absolute work ethic, and full and total commitment to what he's doing.
And there's a love that is far beyond what any of us have a capacity for on Earth. It's just purity and love.
Well said.
That we don't have.
Yeah,
we
that's
just don't have.
the other thing I felt was he's bemused at what we do to each other and the hurts we put upon each other. He tries to soak it and give back, as Pearl says, love. And that's evident in his features. The picture that he's left of him is so lifelike, but he's done it in a smaller version. So it's not the full size of his face, but what it is, it's placed at a position that shows his height, roughly 4 foot.
4 foot.
What's different about this one, with a crop circle, Zutor does it from afar. And he's capable of doing that from here, sitting up in his craft and just going bang for us. But everything's changed, including the energy, because he actually came into the building, and that's of no difficulty to someone of his capability. So he's came in his form, his actual physical form, and did that and put that there and left not only the energy there but the energy of him in the building, which has made such a substantial change.
He has no restrictions of any barrier. He can make himself visible in the next half second. He can make himself invisible.
One of the other significances of Zutor, we know that he's a long, long way from where he exists to help Earth. That's the epitome of selflessness. And that's another thing. I'm demonstrating that I actually am here. And selfishness is the bane of existence on Earth, and it makes people small. And they're selfish mostly, or remain selfish, because they put themselves into self-pity, which means it's always someone else's fault that they're not able to do what they're meant to do. And this is a sign that it's time for that to go.
For the last 10 years, I have been saying, I want to open the back door and I want you to be there. And as quickly as I think that, I think, oh gosh, I'll probably take to the heels and run if you are. So there's been a really mixed emotion of, I so desperately want you to be standing there, but what will I actually do if you are? So I'm hoping now that he's saying, soon I'm going to be at the back door. This is just a step closer, so I'm soon going to be at the back door. So I can now imprint the faith even more into my mind. Yeah.
For more spiritual knowledge, remember to subscribe. If any of the information Ian and Pearl spoke about piqued your interest, make sure you like and comment on this video below. There's so much knowledge and advice being delivered from Spirit to you via this channel. Healing your physical and emotional pains will guide you towards a more loving and meaningful life. This is the Spiritual Renaissance.